Well, folks, the people have spoken. In a world where political landscapes are constantly shifting, the latest elections have brought two familiar faces back into the spotlight. The voters have made their choices clear, and now we find ourselves at a fascinating crossroads in history. In a stunning turn of events, Donald Trump is back in the Oval Office, and across the pond, Keir Starmer is settling into number 10 Downing Street. These two leaders, representing vastly different political ideologies, are now at the helm of two of the world's most influential nations. It's a scenario that promises to bring both challenges and opportunities on a global scale. Two leaders, two very different visions for their countries, and let's be honest, two very different approaches to hair care. Trump, with his signature golden locks, and Starmer, with his more understated style, are as different in appearance as they are in policy. But beyond the surface, their leadership styles and political agendas will shape the future in ways we can only begin to imagine.
One thing's for sure, these two aren't exactly cut from the same cloth. Their political philosophies couldn't be more different, and their approaches to governance reflect that stark contrast. While Trump is known for his brash, unfiltered rhetoric and a focus on nationalism, Starmer brings a more measured, policy-driven approach to the table. Starmer, with his socialist leanings, wants a bigger safety net, more public services, and yeah, that means higher taxes. His vision for the UK includes a robust welfare state, increased funding for healthcare and education, and a commitment to social justice. It's a platform that resonates with many who feel left behind by the current economic system.
Trump, on the other hand, well, he's singing the same old tune: tax cuts, deregulation, and let's make America wealthy again. His agenda focuses on reducing government intervention in the economy, promoting business growth, and prioritizing American interests on the global stage. It's a message that continues to find favor with a significant portion of the American electorate. I guess we've moved on from great. Trump's slogan has evolved, but the core message remains the same: a promise to restore American prosperity and dominance. Whether this approach will yield the desired results remains to be seen, but it certainly sets the stage for a dynamic and potentially contentious political landscape.
This ain't your grandma's geopolitical landscape, people. The world is more interconnected than ever, and the actions of these two leaders will have ripple effects far beyond their own borders. From trade agreements to climate change policies, the decisions made in Washington and London will shape the global agenda for years to come. It's a new era with new players, and the stakes couldn't be higher. As Trump and Starmer navigate their respective political landscapes, they'll need to build alliances, manage conflicts, and address the pressing issues of our time. The world is watching, and the pressure is on. The world is watching, wondering if these two can work together, or if we're all headed for a reality show showdown of epic proportions. Will they find common ground on issues like trade, security, and climate change? Or will their differences lead to increased tensions and division? Only time will tell. Buckle up, folks, it's going to be a bumpy ride. The next few years promise to be a roller coaster of political drama, policy debates, and unexpected twists and turns. As Trump and Starmer take the reins, one thing is certain: the world of politics is about to get a whole lot more interesting.
Check one, check.
Okay, so let's break down Starmer's game plan. Keir Starmer, the leader of the Labour Party, has a vision for the UK that aims to address the growing economic inequality. His strategy is multifaceted, focusing on redistributing wealth to create a more balanced society. But how does he plan to achieve this ambitious goal? He's all about that Robin Hood vibe: take from the rich, give to the poor, more money for healthcare, which has been under immense pressure, especially after the pandemic. Starmer believes that by increasing funding for public services, he can improve the quality of life for the average citizen. Education, social services, you name it. These are the pillars of his plan. By investing in these areas, he hopes to create a more educated and healthier population, which in turn could lead to a more productive workforce. Sounds great in theory, right? The idea is that a well-funded public sector can drive economic growth by creating a more equitable society. But theories don't always translate perfectly into practice. Who doesn't love free stuff? The promise of more public services and benefits is always appealing. However, the reality of funding these initiatives is far more complex. But hold your horses, folks. There's always a catch. Those higher taxes, they don't just affect the wealthy. They can have a ripple effect throughout the economy. Yeah, they tend to scare away big businesses. When corporations face higher taxes, they often look for more favorable environments, which can lead to them relocating their operations.
And when businesses get spooked, they pack up and take their jobs with them. This can lead to higher unemployment rates and a decrease in economic activity, which is counterproductive to Starmer's goals. Starmer's walking a tightrope here, trying to create a fairer society without scaring away the very people who create jobs. It's a delicate balance between ensuring social welfare and maintaining a thriving business environment. It's a classic socialist dilemma, and only time will tell if he can pull it off. The challenge lies in implementing policies that are both fair and economically viable.
Can he find that sweet spot between social responsibility and economic growth? It's a question that has plagued many leaders before him. The key will be in the details of his policies and how they are executed. Or will his policies send the UK spiraling into an economic downturn? The stakes are high and the consequences of missteps could be severe. The economy is a complex system and changes in one area can have unforeseen impacts elsewhere. Stay tuned, folks. It's about to get interesting. As Starmer's plans unfold, the nation will be watching closely to see if he can navigate this balancing act successfully. The future of the UK's economy and social fabric hangs in the balance. Now let's talk about the Donald. He's back, baby. After a hiatus from the political spotlight, Donald Trump has returned with a bang, ready to shake things up once again. His re-emergence has been met with a mix of excitement and apprehension as people wonder what new strategies and policies he will bring to the table this time around. And he's brought his trusty sidekick, The Art of the Deal, along for the ride. This book, which has become almost a manifesto for his business and political strategies, outlines his approach to negotiation and deal-making. It's a playbook that he believes can be applied to the economic challenges facing the country.
Trump's strategy is simple: cut taxes, slash regulations, and create an environment where businesses can thrive without the heavy hand of government interference. He believes that by reducing the burden on businesses, they will have more resources to invest in growth and innovation, and unleash the power of the free market. This approach is rooted in the belief that the free market, when left to its own devices, is the most efficient way to allocate resources and drive economic growth. By removing barriers and allowing competition to flourish, Trump aims to create a more dynamic and prosperous economy. He figures if businesses have more money in their pockets, they'll create more jobs, leading to lower unemployment and higher wages for workers. This in turn should stimulate consumer spending and drive further economic growth, and everyone will be swimming in cash. Sounds good, right? Well, not so fast. While the theory is appealing, the reality is often more complex. Economic policies can have unintended consequences, and what works in theory doesn't always pan out in practice. Remember those tariffs Trump loves so much? These tariffs are designed to protect American industries from foreign competition by making imported goods more expensive. Yeah, those can come back to bite you. While tariffs can help domestic producers, they can also lead to higher prices for consumers and retaliatory measures from other countries, which can hurt American exporters.
Tariffs might protect some American industries, giving them a temporary competitive edge. This can be particularly beneficial for industries that are struggling to compete with cheaper foreign imports, but they also drive up prices for consumers. When the cost of imported goods rises, so does the cost of living, as consumers have to pay more for everyday items. And let's not forget about the trade wars they can spark. Trade wars can lead to a cycle of retaliation, where countries impose tariffs on each other's goods, leading to reduced trade and economic uncertainty. Trump's economic policies are like a shot of adrenaline. They might give the economy a quick boost, providing a short-term surge in growth and confidence. But the long-term effects are anyone's guess. While some believe that these policies can lead to sustained economic growth, others worry about the potential for increased debt, inflation, and economic instability. Only time will tell how Trump's economic blitz will play out in the long run. The UK and the USA, they're like those old couples who bicker constantly, but deep down they love each other. It's a special relationship, as they say. But with Starmer and Trump at the helm, things are about to get interesting.
These two have very different worldviews. Starmer's a multilateralist, believing in working with other countries.
Trump, on the other hand, well, he's more of a go-it-alone kind of guy.
Can they find common ground on issues like trade, climate change, and global security? Or will their differences drive a wedge between these two longtime allies? The world is watching, hoping this special relationship can survive this latest stress test.